words and what you were sharing about our acts with God personally. It's That's really like the first kind of message that I received from Dad a long time ago, and that really kind of turned me on and on fire. Like, whoa, I've never heard anyone really encourage in this way. Even we knew the scriptures. I knew the scriptures, and I knew that this is said, and I knew all the apostles and Paul and everybody, right? In the book of Acts, they began doing those works that even Jesus Christ did, but I never kind of understood or thought like I can do that too, in that same way. And so it was very encouraging to hear that, right? Because from then when I heard it to now, like, so much God has taught me, so many works. I could start writing, my book, Johnny's Acts with God, and such wonderful things can come out of there, and so much more to come. So that was a great reminder. Great to hear everybody's sharings. Great to hear from you, Dan. And I've been really encouraged by everybody's words. And something that I was very encouraged to share was kind of, I think Brendan was sharing how, to let go and God will do the growing. Remind me of the parable of sowing the seed in good ground, but that God gives the growth. God is the one that gives the growth. So it's not our hard work. We have to work on this person or that person and make them grow. No, it's really like you individually just speak the words from God, no more nor less, just that, right? We don't have to put our own understanding. We don't have to put our own effort. But God truly brings those things. Not only the words, but He'll bring the circumstances to speak those words, the environment, whatever, the right moment. Because even certain words at certain times don't soak up as well. But God brings all those things together to really build His church, build His people, and to bring those such as should be saved. A while ago, I think I shared here that we were, me and Dad were connecting with some believers from Chile, and it's been maybe a couple years, but there's been pretty much two phases. The first one, they kind of heard from Dad this message, and they wanted to know a little bit more. So we connected, and Dad shared, I shared, even Preet shared. We were all there. And they heard these words, but we didn't see anything come out of it. Actually, they were a little bit reluctant on some of the things that we were sharing, right? So that kind of, we didn't hear much from them. And then maybe a year after, we heard back that they wanted to connect. And then again, we were hearing from them, and we could see a little bit of growth. And like some of the things that maybe they were against or very reluctant to believe, all the things that they, we know that we speak here, some of the things that were new to them, they were, they were catching. They were catching many things. But still some things that were a little bit reluctant to believe and a little bit feisty. But, we gave it to God, and, we saw some growth. So God was working, was doing something. So we didn't message, send this and that. But as God was sharing, like I said, no more nor less. I remember I sent them a testimony one time, and the only one that I shared, and they were very, very encouraged, and they got, fired up. And then we start seeing more things, and we connected a few times with them, and they're really fired up and really catching, next level catching the truths, the right doctrine kind of information. And then just last week we heard from them, and they were telling us that great miracles have been happening. And one specific girl that was very ill, and she was in Argentina. I don't know what was the connection, how they knew her, but one of the ladies went there to take care of her, and they saw great healing happen, and from death to life, pretty much. The doctors had given up, and then, I'll hear today more of the details. We're going to connect with them today. But that to me is also like great to see. For me, very encouraging how God, as we give it to God really gives the growth, and we don't have to force, we don't have to follow and really toil after people. And, no, this is the right way. No, this you have to believe. No, it's not like that with God. We just have to do what God shows us. We just have to go where God shows us, speak what God shows us at every time, because He is with us. And this is the great power that we have, that we can speak the words from God, the logos from God, His logic, not the logic of this world, not the logic of so-and-so or this ministry or this pastor, this doctrine or the other. No, there's one truth. There's one perspective that is good, and that is from God. And doesn't matter what anybody else says, but God always gives the right perspective. And everybody will see that right perspective at its right time. Doesn't matter if it looks this way or that way, we can see the same situation and everybody has an opinion, a different perspective. But there is one truth, and God has that right, correct perspective. And God can give us that right perspective, the right way of seeing things, understanding things, and speaking things. He is ready to give that wisdom. He is ready to really work in us and make us grow. He's pursuing us. He is really wanting to convince us, because we have given our life to Him. We told God, okay, we are ready, God. So He said, okay, I can work now. I can work in you. I can really show you, teach you. And there is infinity of growth that can happen within us. And He is doing that in our lives since we have given our life to Him. We said, God, yes, we believe. And we know that you can really show us, give us your perspective every day and everything. Not that we have to really, study the scriptures. That's at some point in my life, that's what was taught to me. And I believe that. That was part of my doctrine, right? Doctrine is a set of beliefs. One set of belief for me that was not good, right? Not that was impeding me to grow, was that idea. I really have to study the scriptures. The scriptures, actually, I didn't call it the scriptures. I call the scriptures the Word of God. But now I know, and God showed, no, that is not what I refer to in the scriptures. Right? What is the Word of God? The Word of God I give you, like I gave everybody that is, narrated in the scriptures. That was the Word of God then, yes. But there's so much more words that come from God, His logic. And I can give this to you to think and to speak to others, and really see, that power that we have. So that piece of doctrine changed in me, and then I saw a great growth. Like, okay, it's not just this. I'm not that good at studying or understanding the scriptures and, how people study, and there's methods of studying and everything. I don't have to do this anymore. I have the author of this book, the author of creation, the author of this life, who can show me, who can give me his perspective. And that was, changing for me. So, these people in Chile are starting to see this. Actually, this is the piece of information that now clicked, and they started to understand and receive and open to God to this. Right now, they're starting to speak the words from God. Now the fellowships, are different. Before it was one person, one important person who studied the scriptures teach. No, now is everybody gets to teach. Now, the person that was leading is not so stressed. Oh, I have to put a teaching together. When am I going to, feed my flock? No, it's not like that. It's God is really now able to work, has the ability to work. And now we're starting to see, those great works. Their books of Acts, of all the individuals. They all have their books of Acts now. So that's what I want to share. God has blessed you greatly, and love you all.
Thank you, Johnny. God has blessed you too. Wonderful sharing.